Hey everyone, and welcome back to Let's Talk Leeds with me, GWFM. I'm joined once again by my esteemed co-host, Mattinho Got Game. Say hello, mate.
Alright, guys.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, because there's probably a lot of anger flowing around at the minute after that performance, which we'll get into shortly. First, I'm just going to say, basically, we're going to be talking about the disappointing West Brom result, 4-1, of course. And then we're going to look ahead towards the Bristol City game after the international break. So, just a brief summary of the West Brom game, Matt.
Shit.
That's probably sums it up correctly.
I don't have to say anything else. That was it. It was garbage.
100%. 100%. You know what? I said that hoping for exactly the right word. Just literally a one-word answer, and you duly delivered. So, fantastic stuff. But anyway, yeah, we're going to look into the actual game now, and just basically what happened, mate. What happened?
Shit.
I'm open to some elaboration if you want. Just shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
What went wrong?
Zero cutting edge. You know, we had the vast majority of the possession, but there's no point having all that possession if you're not carving out chances.
Correct.
Times where we were just giving the ball away in silly areas, just really lax passing. And I don't know, I think the more frustrated we got when openings weren't presented themselves, the more we pushed and pressed a little bit further, which left us exposed at the back to counter attacks. And I was thinking, you know, if we get in at half time 0-0, maybe we could switch things up and do something a little bit different, because we were, even though we, like I said, had most of the possession, they looked the more likely to go on and probably do something.
Yeah.
And it just, in the second half, it was just even worse. That first goal went in, and then the floodgates opened. So yeah, I don't know really what to say. We did get a consolation goal. Pablo Hernandez got a header, probably the only thing he did of any worth.
I completely agree with that.
But yeah, I think the main thing is just at times maybe we were trying to walk it in, almost, but other times it was just. I think maybe we need to start going two up top. I don't know who those two would be, but Roof looked very isolated at times.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just worst performance of the season, easily.
By far. I was out at the pub. I actually missed the fourth goal. I've still not seen it yet. I don't think
you don't want to.
Yeah, I don't really want to, because it's Dwight Gale, and he's got one of those, those knobhead faces. You know, it just has one of those faces that you just want to, 2-foot lunge in the face. I don't know, but
repeatedly punch.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a really bad day at the office. Like I say, it was just a couple of factors. Obviously, Biscuit Wrist Bailey, the great and glorious Peacock, no longer great and glorious. I'm not going to say that we should just cast him off, because look what happened last season when we started casting off as goalkeepers and swap and chopping and changing rather. Like I say, you don't really want to. You don't want to. What's the word? Discourage the lad, but how many chances does he need? I mean, there was someone put in the Facebook forums a comment, and I found it hard to disagree with, and that was, whenever we concede live on Sky Sports Leeds, the commentator always says the keeper's got to do better, at least 90% of the time. And you find it hard to disagree with that. And yes, he's young and he's learning, but how long do you stick with him? And do we try Blackman, who's basically playing Gish in the under-23s and conceding goals left, right and centre? It was shocking. I mean, you touched on our shocking passing and stuff like that. I mean, the one thing that just sticks to my memory was a great bit defending by, believe it or not, Liam Cooper. It was one of the rare bits of great defending. Intercepted a ball, looked to break and get them on the counter the counter, as it were, and he passed it straight to him and put us straight in danger. And I think that was the chance where they hit the bar. From what I remember, I seem to remember that's what happened. I had a few to drink, but I seem to remember that. But like you said, mate, we just had no cutting edge. I think Pablo Hernandez, although some people seem to give him a higher rating, probably because he got the goal, than the rest of the team. But I thought that it was his worst performance in a Leeds shirt, in my opinion. I don't know whether you agree with that, Matt, but You know,
Definitely his worst of the season. Just
definitely worse
had
this
him under
season.
lock and key for the most part.
But that's what it was. It's like we didn't have. It was like it seemed like there was no creativity. The only outball that seemed to happen all the time, it seemed to be. I think it was more like Forshaw, maybe sometimes Pontus Jansson, playing it wide to Barry Douglas, and then he took him off, which I found a bit surprising because he seemed to be the only decent outlet. And I know he's a left back, but he does seem to see a pass like where like one of the midfielders is breaking forward. Because Click tried hard and that, but then they were just again. He had a couple of efforts, one in particular where he hit it straight at the keeper. I think just before half time. I think I seem to remember rightly. And then obviously the second goal where he lost the ball. It was very reminiscent of the Cardiff game last season. Obviously, expect the keeper to do better. Like I said, Biscuit Risk Bailey. But you can't legislate for errors like that, and it's very disappointing. And I was really looking forward to this game and thinking this could define our season if we can get a win here. I know obviously Norwich somehow spawned a win in the last minute, but I thought if we can break away with them, and maybe even if it just makes it down to 3 teams breaking away, us Norwich and Middlesbrough, I think would have been laughing. But there's some teams below us catching up, like Queens Park Rangers are on a bit of a run. Who would have thought that when they were getting destroyed 7-1 by West Brom beginning of the season? And it's kind of concerning. I mean, you say go to top. I don't think he will do that for a second, in my opinion. I don't think he's ever played to top. At least for in recent memory. I don't mean just for Leeds. I mean the other teams. The idea, I think, is he's got technically, because that with how much work they go through, it's basically 3 up front and then like 5 in midfield as we lose the ball, sort of thing, because we're constantly pressing. So I don't think that will happen. But as much as we'd like to see it happen, we probably won't see it. And yeah, it was just disappointing. I mean, fair play to West Brom, although I failed to see how we made. How Robson Kanu looked like Chuffin Ronaldo at his peak, at times. He just skinned us and left us for days. I mean, I don't know. They just attacked us with power and pace on the counter, and they showed, and this is the most concerning thing for me, and this is what I'll finish up on this assessment, is does it show everyone else how to beat us? And that is what's most concerning. I'm not saying the wheels have come off, but it does make me a little bit concerned to see how we react. I mean, Bristol City are next. It's too weak to put it right. But at the same breath, I don't think we've won on returning from international duty. I think I seem to remember drawing with Millwall, and I think we lost to Blackburn. Does that sound right?
I think so. I can't quite recall when the last international break was.
I seem to think, it was. It'd be about 5 games ago, which would make sense. So, I mean, who would you say would have been? I mean, dare I say, who would you say your man of the match for? If there was one,
Harvey Barnes
for them. All right,
probably. None of us, nobody covered themselves in glory. You could probably say Saiz.
You can't believe you're saying that.
but at the same time, he came on and he gave the ball away a couple of times in the middle of the park, which put us under the bloody cosh. So nobody had a good game, and just expanding a little bit on it. Like the last few weeks or last few games, I've seen that the little wayward passes where no one's quite on the same wavelength.
Yeah, Dallas.
I'm just going to play it here, and the player's already taken, already made a little bit of a half-yard burst, and it just rolls behind him, and he has to come back, or he loses the ball completely. It's becoming more and more frequent, and more so against West Brom. So I don't think anybody deserves my man of the match for Leeds because we're all crap.
Yeah, basically. I was going to say about Saiz. I know that you just touched there that he gave the ball away a couple of times, but it still for me did more than anyone else did on the pitch in the creative sense. In the short space of time it was only on for 10 minutes. I mean, just quickly going back, I remember at half time because I was out with my uncle who's a Huddersfield Town fan, but it's not like a typical Huddersfield Town fan who takes piss and stuff like that. He likes all Yorkshire sides to do well, and basically I went to say, look, watch how we play here, but this is going to be a great way of to showcase how well we're doing, sort of thing. And obviously it all went to shit. But I was saying at half time when we won 1-0, wasn't it? At half time at 2.
No.
It was it 0-0. Yes, it was 0-0. Yeah, sorry, yeah. So it was 0-0 at half time. And I thought we were just shocking, and they'd had the better chances, had hit the bar. They had one that just went over the bar, and they looked really dangerous. And I thought something's got to change at half time, and nothing happened. And then I went, right, it's going to leave it 15 minutes to see if they put their ideas up, and nothing happened. And then we ended up bringing where they came on now. It was an uninspiring substitution, in my opinion. Was it Roof coming off and Roberts coming on, and then 2 minutes later we conceded again? And I don't know why, but I thought, well, there's plenty of other people could have been taken off. Then he took Barry Douglas off. But yeah, I mean, people have been calling for Dallas's head and stuff like that because he's saying he's just not good enough. He's played out of position. The only other option really we've got this moment in time is Shackleton, who is 5'4" apparently, and he's like 2 stone wet through. I thought he got found out a bit against Swansea in a defensive sense. So I'm not sure he would be the answer. There's no doubt he's got some quality about him, but I just don't know whether he'd be the right fit for right back at this moment in time. Dallas, you're going to get a shift from him, but like you said earlier on, misplaced passes, like it was like there was no. It's like the first time they were playing, wasn't it? Like just a pass straight to the opposition. They just passed it straight to him under no pressure. It was it was so frustrating to watch. But yeah, I mean, I'm struggling like you to name a potential man of the match. I thought Forshaw did all right in terms of getting onto the ball and starting to try and get us to go forward and like I say I mentioned before, passing it out wide to Barry Douglas a lot. And I mean, Douglas himself I didn't think played that bad, but it's just a case of we got taken off, and then I thought we lost something until Saiz came on with 10 minutes to go. So on that I probably just about shared it to Forshaw, but there's not really much else I could really say in terms of anyone else who played anywhere near the standard that we've been used to. But yeah, I mean, on to the next game, I suppose, which is obviously going to be Bristol City. So I suppose obviously not as confident at this moment in time. A little bit shell shocked still, I think. We are recording this the Tuesday following the result. And found out recently, I'm assuming you know, Matt, that Pontus Jansson is returning from the Sweden squad. But apparently injured, with an injury, sorry. No idea what the injury is, but he's missing, there's 2 games that they're going to be playing over this international break, but he's coming back to Leeds to be assessed. Now, if that's the case, I make that we only have, like in terms of first team defenders, centre-backs, Liam Cooper, who arguably is the worst one. But, where do we go here? Do we bring up Apo Halm, or however it's pronounced, the Finnish lad, or do we bring in... Because we won't be able to recall O'Connor, I don't think, until the transfer window. I mean, it's exactly what you've been going on about all season, about another centre-back. And like I say, I'm finding now we are having to agree with you completely, because Aylin's not there to cover. We've got no Berardi there to cover. That's bad enough. We ain't got a right back. Now we're only going to have one centre back. That Diaz that came in last season didn't really fill us with much inspiration last season. The only one that really did was O'Connor, and he's out on loan. So I'm a little bit apprehensive going into this game against Bristol City. I don't know what you think, Matt.
Well, it depends what happens with Jansson's injury. Hopefully, it's just something minor that's going to keep him out for a week, and then you know whatever. But if it is somewhat longer term, then if this sort of stuff, if this defeat and this sort of thing happened in mid-December or even early December, I'd be okay. But we've got a month and a half until the transfer window opens, and I don't know if that injury is a bad one. Then the wheels could come off very, very quickly.
Yeah,
because we've got no backup in defence. So I know Bielsa likes to use youngsters and bring them in. Is anyone good enough to come in?
The Shaughnessy, I've just remembered, but I don't know if he's the answer.
Yeah, well, he might have to be, because we've not got any other answers. Like I said, we were screwed. Bielsa said towards the back end of the transfer window, we're not getting another centre back, and I was like, just go and get one. Just go and get one, because now, because it's going to happen.
Evident now.
And we're up that creek at the minute. We're not quite up that creek, but the current started to edges towards that creek. It just depends what happens with Jansson's injury. But I don't know. I think we might see quite a few changes for Bristol.
I think you
I
have
would
to.
hope to see. I would hope to see Jack Clark come in and get a start. He's come on and done well. I think we need some of that that fearless youth comes in, no fear, just going to get the ball down, run at people, get the ball into the right areas. But yeah, I mean, if we've only got one recognised centre back, we've got none of our supposed cover players like Ayling and Berardi.
Yeah,
I don't know who goes back there. Phillips, maybe.
Phillips, that could be another option. Yeah, you're right. But I mean, you wouldn't fancy him in a back two, would you? Maybe in a back three, like he has done. I think that's what they tried to do, didn't they? But obviously, it didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, and this is where you would have wanted Ronaldo Vieira, and not to necessarily play centre back. You could shuffle Phillips to be the partner in centre back, and Ronaldo Vieira sits where Phillips was.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I just think those summer decisions are now starting to bite us a little bit, and I'm expecting some big and very swift moves in the transfer market come January. Because if not, it could be like when Gary Monk was in charge. We're doing really well. Yeah. We were a bit up and down at times. We needed reinforcements. We didn't get them, and then
narrowly missed out.
A month and a half before the end of the season, we ran out of steam, and it just fell apart. So, yeah. Hopefully Jansen's injury isn't that bad. He'll be able to play, but if it is, then your guess is as good as mine. Who comes in to cover him?
Yeah, it's a bit of a precarious situation, isn't it? Really, it's a little bit up in air at this moment in time because obviously we're a little bit early. We've got like a week and a half, haven't we, until the next game? So we'll obviously probably know more nearer the time. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we have at least three of us back four that we need. We can't have the full back four because we're right backs. You know what I mean? But it's just. I think, like you say, there's got to be changes. Like you said, it might be worth Clark getting a start. But it's who for at this moment in time because, I mean, the obvious choice would be Alioski, or if I can't see Barry Beckham getting dropped and then Alioski playing at left back. But then again, I can't see Alioski getting dropped full stop because I think he likes his energy and the amount of effort that he puts in every single game. I think that's one of the main reasons why he's picked every week is Alioski because he's played in every single game this season. And the stats don't lie, he's created the most chances for us in total. But it's just frustrating to watch because he's offside, Ali offside, as I've seen a nickname a couple of times, and he doesn't take people on. He's got to get in space across it, which is fine, but his crosses have got to be top notch. I mean, like I say, other than that, who do you drop? You've got Hernandez, who for me was very poor, but he's undoubtedly one of the key players. And then is it a case of Forshaw or Saiz? That seems to be a bit of a thing at the moment, which is hard to call who's going to play. But it seems to have been favouring Forshaw, who for me has not done that much wrong. Even in that game, he wasn't terrible. He was probably, like I said, the best of a really bad bunch. But even so, if everyone else was shocking, then and he's done well, then he's the only one that you would imagine, from my opinion, that deserves to keep his place in the starting lineup. But Saiz did come on and and create a glorious opportunity for arguably the smallest player on the pitch to header over the chipping keeper, which I found bizarre. But see, what do you do? I mean, unless you play him up front, but I can't see him playing it up front ahead of Roof or Tyler Roberts, at this moment in time. So the ideas are there and the options are there, but I still think that he'll play the main players up top. I think the changes might happen. Well, what they could do is in defence or the goalkeeper, but it just depends. If he's going to stick with Bailey Peacock-Farrell and just purely he's got Blackman in just as cover for if he gets injured, then he'll just stick with Bailey Peacock-Farrell. But the only defensive change I can think is Shackleton at right back instead of Dallas, because as it were, we've got no one else. So Phillips, I can't see him not playing unless he takes him out and gives him a rest and lets Forshaw play that role. That's the only other thing I can think of. But we've got some options, but it's just I don't think he's gonna take any of the mainstay players out unless they're injured, in my opinion. I could be wrong, in a way I hope I'm wrong, because I'd like to see Jack Clark get run out. He was very impressive against Nottingham Forest, but I just can't see it. Have you got anything else to add on that before we look at how Bristol City have been getting on?
No, not really. Like, but
it's all doom and gloom.
It is a bit, but like I said, I think the problem starting in the summer. I think we started well, but it was always going to be a case players were going to get tired. We needed other options, and it's not all doom and gloom. We could get O'Connor back in January potentially.
Yeah,
I heard Louis Coyle's loan is only a 6-month loan, so we can come back in January.
I heard otherwise. I heard it's a full year. That.
Well, we've also got Izzy Brown, who joined and hasn't played yet, but he's not too far away apparently. So that's another option.
Yeah.
So it's not all doom and gloom, but at the same time, I think we're lacking options. We had the opportunity, and we made a stupid sale. I don't know why I still don't know why we sold Vieira.
He's played twice.
I don't know why.
He's made 2 appearances all season. What point? You know what I mean? He's made 2 appearances. I saw someone saying, "Oh, do you think we should go in for a loan for him?" But what's the point? Because he'll only end up going back afterwards. Might as well look at someone else now. One positive before we move on to Bristol City. One positive is we're still third and we're still in the playoff area, which has got to be the main target this season, at least the playoffs. But I suppose we'll move on to now look at, which I've got a screen here in front of me of all the form and stuff like that, of Bristol City. So obviously we are at home. So I'll let you know our home form from the last 6 matches, which reads as we are 16th. We've had the last 6 home games we started way back at the end before. The English is impeccable, but before the first international break, which was Middlesbrough, we drew 0-0. Then we beat Preston 3-0, and then we lost 2-1 to Birmingham, as we all know. And then we drew 1-1 with Brentford before the last international break, which obviously, dodgy refereeing and all that lot, and Janssen getting banned. Which, incidentally, Charlie Austin, you want to see this? It's basically someone's taking the mick out.
I've seen it.
Brilliant. Part life. Because the way that Charlie Austin talks, he sounds just like Damon, or whoever it is that speaks on that. It's not Damon Albarn, is it? It's someone else. I know who it is. It's him from who were on EastEnders. I've forgotten his name. With dark hair. Went out with that. Oh God. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, it's piss funny. Check it out. Just type in Charlie Austin part life. You'll piss yourself laughing. But yeah, he accused the referee of basically the same things what Janssen's done. If he doesn't get a ban, then yeah, it's a load of shit. So yeah, following on from that, we beat Ipswich 2-0. Obviously, one of the best performances we've done, I think. But we have to remember it was against Ipswich. Got the manager sacked. And then most recently, the 1-1 draw against Notts Forest, which is a total 9 points from 6 games. So it's like 50% of the points that were available we've got from our last 6 home games. Whereas their away form, if you just give me a moment here we go. They are currently sat, in terms of the away form, in 11th place, having got 7 points, with wins against Swansea, losing to West Brom, losing to Wigan, drawing with Rotherham, beating Brentford, and losing most recently to Reading 3-2. So for me, it's like it's kind of like mid-table form sort of clash. I won't be surprised if it's a draw, if I'm honest with you. But I suppose, I'm going to say, is there anything you'd like to add, like any danger men or anything like that?
Well, I mean, it's going to be a tough game, but they're not as good as they were last season from the looks of it. They do have some decent players in there. Andreas Wyman on his day can be pretty good. They've got that Thomas Callas, who I think we should have went and tried to get
the centre back.
Yeah.
Just let it go, man. Just let it go.
No, he's going to Leeds. I don't care if I have to kidnap him. He's going to Leeds. But I don't know. It's going to be a tricky game. I think we can get a win, but again, I think a lot of it is sort of dependent on where the Janssen injury is, because that could cause a big reshuffle. Like it could cause, lots of different changes.
Phillips at centre back, etc. And then where did we go then? We don't even know. We couldn't even predict the team if that happens. Well, most of it you could, but key areas.
But I mean, okay defensively. Okay, going forward, they've got a goal difference of 1. They scored 20 and conceded 19. But I think hopefully we can get a win. But I don't know. It just kind of depends what happens over the next week and a half, how they react to the defeat, what happens in training, what happens with the injuries, and so on and so forth, and if there are any changes, how that kind of plays its part. So, yeah, it's not a good time at the minute.
It's not.
Just too much up in the air. I don't like it.
And the fact, I think it's painful that we've got 2 weeks to wait now, because that's the last thing we think of now is we got Pagged 4-1 by West Brom, who were on a really bad run at the time. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any of these players are injured, but like I say, Andy Wyman's got 5 goals this season. Josh Brownhill's a decent player at middle at Park. He's got 3 goals. Famara Didu, he's a striker for them. I think joined this season. He might have joined last season. I can't remember, but I know he's got 3 goals this season, which obviously it's not massive amounts. We'll have to wait and see. But I suppose I might as well lead on to the final part, which is to do with the predictions. Which last week we all predicted big wins, and as a result, I'm going to say no points for anyone. So I believe, I think you were ahead, weren't you? So it's me and Mike both on 5 points. 6 points for Matt still, because I predicted 4-2. I knew it'd be a high scoring game. I had a feeling, and I just didn't get it the right way around. Mike said 3-1, and Matt said 3-2. So yeah, we were all way off. So as a result, I'm going to give us no points because of more doom and gloom. You know what I mean? So for us. But this time, I'm going to start it off. This time, we haven't got a response from Mike yet because he's AWOL again. He's having to work a lot at the minute, so. Unfortunately for us, we miss out on his viewpoints as well. But yeah, at this moment in time, we've got no prediction. We'll mention it next time. And yeah, I'll start off with 2-1. I think we need a reaction. We are at home. We have to win. If we don't win, I think potentially like the wheels might be coming loose. I don't know. And we might have been found out. That's my concern. I've got concern in the fact that have West Brom just shown everyone how to beat us? And it's how we respond from that. Like, so we've got 2 weeks to sort it out, start the defensive side or whatever, and try more than anything create some chuffing chances where we actually score some chuffing goals. But yeah, I'm going to go for 2-1 because we have to win. What about yourself, Matt?
I'm gonna go 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah.
Same sort of reasons, or?
Yeah. I mean, we could do with a clean sheet. BPF knows he's made a mistake.
Some people might say 2. Because they said his position wasn't great for the first goal. But anyway, we'll move on. Sorry, I can't get my words out. Chip in there.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0. I reckon. Hoping we will see a response, and I think we will see a response. I don't think it'll be a classic game. I think it'll be sort of maybe bogged down in the midfield a little bit. Chances few and far between, but when the chances come, I can see. I don't know. I'll even go as far as to say goals from Roof and Saiz.
So Saiz to get on the score sheet. Deal. You feeling all right, mate? What have you done with Mattinho? But anyway, yeah.
Basement.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Right, so I believe that's going to bring an end to the video. Before that, though, we'll just say pimpage. So go ahead.
You should know by now, I do mainly racing content. Not been many videos over the last couple of weeks because I've had lots of stuff going on in real life, but also doing Football Manager. Had to delay that slightly because I had to sort something out with it. But yeah, so if you're into your sim racing or Football Manager, then come and check my channel out.
Sweet. And then obviously, like I've mentioned before, moved over to Twitch. The link is in the description below for both Matt's channel and my Twitch channel as well as on there. Doing Leeds United and Ossett United, the two teams, Ossett Town and Ossett Albion, merged together. I'm doing 2 separate saves. I'm going to do the Leeds one on a Sunday, basically so we can talk about what's happened at the weekend in terms of the results and what have you in performance. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. Quite a few people come and have a watch and that. The last stream didn't go so well at the point of recording. Six games lost in a row for some reason after winning like 10 in a row. Nothing changed, but okay. But yeah, it's a lot of laughs, and yeah, it'd be great if you could join us, like I say, on a Sunday, usually between 9 and about 11:30 at night, thereabouts. But the other days are Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and sometimes occasionally a Sunday if for whatever reason one of the days I can't make. So yeah, hopefully I can see you there. And I suppose, yeah, that's the end of the video. So yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments. Are you devastated by that result? Do you think the wheels have come off already? I've even seen as far as seen a few people say Bielsa are out. I think it's a bit early for that. Yeah, but yeah, let us know what you think in the comments below and your predictions for the Bristol City game. But until next time, we will see you then. Bye bye.